Black representation in Bleach. A video that I've actually wanted to do for a minute now, but I didn't want to mess this one up. Any black conversation in the anime community always has so many different sides. You look at cosplayers and how much backlash and praise they get. You even have people that make a huge deal out of black fan art. The Spy X Family thing, still crazy. I've even seen in the YouTube space people dumbing down their blackness like it's some type of corporate job or something because they see that they don't get as much support on their videos or even when it comes to sponsorships, when it comes to being black. It's crazy. This is 2020, guys. So I really want to choose my words wisely as I dive into a subject matter such as this one because I feel like I have my own opinion. You're gonna have your own opinion. Let's not get a little too spicy, right? But today, as always, I have my PowerPoint slide. Black people in Bleach by Blank Thoughts. Come on. Turn it up. Turn it up. I personally think this is a really tough conversation to have just because it's still going on in Western media. I remember growing up, you have like the Little Bills, the Proud Families, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. These shows that are obviously targeted for a black demographic, showing the, I guess, black side of America that obviously didn't get representation earlier in the 1900s. And at the time, I think most of us thought of this as a step in the right direction, if not a positive thing. Retrospectively though, I think everyone's kind of like, did they just segregate TV? Why'd you just shove us in a little corner of the TV station and say like, hey, we did this for y'all. We're gonna keep you in the same roles y'all been in our shows, but these, I need y'all to stay over there. These are shows that I've obviously grown up with, and these are still bangers. I ain't gonna hold you for what it is. It's still bangers, but obviously this is not like a inherent solution to what was originally, I think, the white people's solution to black people in media. Personally, I think examples like Spider-Verse is a great way to show that representation in a film. Like, hey, we have a black character. The whole cast isn't just black, and he's not being treated any differently than any other superhero lead in like his sphere. He's a good MC, he's in a good film, and him being black is just a plus side to it. And that's how I personally like this to be handled. And a lot of people might have different takes on that. That's just my take. Again, conversation. We're talking. We're being friendly here. But we're talking about Bleach today. Screw the Western stuff. We watch Japanese cartoons here. And with Bleach coming back going absolutely crazy right now, I feel like this was a great series to show my overall thoughts on this medium to a degree. My standard for what black representation should be in anime is down here. It's a little low, and it's out of a point of understanding. Japan is 98.5% Japanese. I think it's kind of fair to say that the average Japanese citizen probably had no one-on-one conversations with an actual black person in their life. Most of their perceptions of black people are probably tourists or like people they see in like films. Hey, I watched Nope. Hey, wasn't there Get Out. See, I know what they're talking about. You can't really get a full grasp on the actual culture, especially when Western movies are barely doing it themselves. I try to get a number, but I think there's only like 12,000 black people in Japan. That, again, don't quote me on that. Don't quote me. But if that's true, that's like a high school graduation. That's like less than a rave. But overall, Bleach does a really great job in incorporating different cultures into its anime, and that's why I kind of wanted to start with Bleach. Obviously, one of the most popular is the espada being like the Spanish theme. Espada meaning sword in Spanish. The names are also all related to European architects. Again, Kubo in his bag. And of course, we have Thousand Year Blood War as well with the Sternritter being based off German heritage. Again, it's more so their names instead of the actual designs itself, but there's obviously a nod here. And I've also seen the thing where Soul Society is kind of based off Japan. Even when you look at Chad, half Japanese, half Mexican, he calls his grandpa Abuelo? Like, I've never seen that in anime before. This is like one of the few authors that are kind of in tune with actual different cultures and are applying it into the manga and anime that they're making, which is cool. That's why I want to start with Bleach. So I'm gonna start with the controversial one. I ain't gonna hold you. We're gonna start with a bang. Bink Yoriichi. I say this is a controversial one because people really don't know if she's black or not, but I need to put her in the video just because of what she has done for black people in anime. God bless the Yoriichi cosplayers. Good lord. You not only have one of the best waifus in all of anime, but she's cosplayable too? Like, the versatility is immense. I've seen a lot of different threads of people saying she might be more Indian or Southeast Asian, but she's so talked about when it comes to potential black characters that I feel like it would only be right to mention her right here. I think especially if you're black and you want to start cosplaying, you kind of want to do something that's like kind of relatable to you. Again, and the pool's kind of small. We only have so many in there. Usually like really small side characters or I don't know, some other stuff. So I know a lot of people start off with Yorichi. It's a simple enough design, it's a great design, and the skin tone is relatable enough to do an entire cosplay for her. If you're not really that involved in the cosplay community, it's a pretty consistent thing that black cosplayers get a lot of backlash for cosplaying as characters that aren't, I guess, intentionally black. So if we cosplay a Tanjiro or we cosplay a Naruto, it's for some reason an issue. Like there's some form of cosplay law that's disallowing us to cosplay any character that is not close to our skin tone. And again, that's only a few amount of cosplays that we could actually do if we follow that rule, especially if you're a woman. So even if Yorichi is not considered black, I feel like her impact on the black anime community is probably bigger than a lot of other characters who even are black. Plus, I felt Kubo did a really great job in showing that a dark-skinned character could be just as good as any other character in the cast. Literally, this is one of the fan favorites of the entire series. She has just as good as a design as any other Soul Reaper. She's just as strong as any other Soul Reaper. She's not shafted to the side in any of the arcs. She's on the exact same plane as every other character in the cast, and this is how I feel they should be treated. This W. Now I'm gonna talk about Tosin. I'm mixed. Drip wise, he passes, all right? He got the little braids on, the Steve Lacy glasses, the little scarf that goes around. Like, he stylized his Captain Fit to the best way that he could. Plus, he was like one of like Aizen's like top goons, you feel me? Him and Gin would like pull up with Aizen. He's like, okay, the spot lit, but don't mess with us, right? Like, we different. I thought he was like always just in the tuck, waiting to do some wild stuff. He did the whole like, oh, I'm blind thing before Fujitora ever even thought of it. And he's not just giving like one generic black stereotype and that becomes his whole personality trait. He's just another dude. He just happens to be black and got a cool design. And I was like, yes, give it to me more.
I beg your pardon.
But come the end of the Aizen arc, this man was done dirty. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. He pulls the holification. I was like, okay, we turn it up. I see it. and then he pulls up the Bankai. And I'm like, bro, what is this? This is by far one of the worst Bankais that I've seen in the series. If you're a captain and this is your Bankai, I'm sorry for you, bro. I'm like, of all things you could have done, a bug? You gave Gin the biggest sword of all time. Why'd you give him an insect? Plus, that backstory was absolutely abysmal. Now, do I think Kubo like purposely gave him like this just trash version of his character? No, I think he was writing it up. He's like, oh, I think this is gonna be cool. So I'm not gonna get on Kubo personally for this, but honestly, not the biggest fan. I'm fine with Love. But I do know that a decent amount of people had like a little bit of hype going into Love at the time. Oh, I was a past captain. I'm one of the Vizards. I'm going against Espada #1. Stark was getting gassed up, and one of the people they sent against Stark was Love. He was honestly one of the main guys. So when it comes to Kubo like shafting anybody, I don't think Love was really shafted. Could he have had a better showing against Stark? I 100% agree. To me, it kind of felt like Love was there to be like, hey, let's give Shunsui a little breather so he doesn't have to use Bankai yet. But nonetheless, he did pretty decent. He's definitely one of the more prominent people of the Vizards. And you know, even though I'm not a big fan of the design, I don't think it's offensive. I think it's actually a good representation. He got the little naps going on with the fro, got the little Dollar Tree Nike tech. I'm not gonna hate on him. He's out here. He's kind of balling. Now, I don't want to get too much into 1000-Year Blood War designs that much, but this one I just had to say. But Oetsu Nimaya. Oh my gosh, bro. This is the coolest design you could give to a black Soul Reaper. You did not give this dude a puffer jacket instead of the cloak. Oh my gosh. The long puffer is something I never thought I needed to see until he showed up. Plus, he got the little Prada glasses. Like, talk to him. With the OBJ cut. This man wakes up, get ready, looks himself in the mirror. He's like, yeah, I am him. Again, I think that his character is a little bit more on like the generic, eccentric, kind of charismatic vibe, but at the same time, it's nothing offensive. Design-wise, I think this is just Kubo being Kubo. I think a lot of manga, even if they tried, cannot make a design like this. This is just impressive. Characters that I just want to mention that I don't really want to talk about in full length because they're not that relevant to me. Milia Rose, Zamari, we'll put it in there. Jackie, Tristan, they're black, right? Ones that you can like kind of make a case for not being black. Ollie Bell, Aragon. I think some people still think Chad is black. He's definitely not black, guys. But it's a lot of just dark-skinned characters that a lot of authors don't even try to touch. Either way, I would say Kubo succeeded in getting black representation in his manga. These characters aren't good characters because they're black. They're just good characters that are black, which I personally like. I don't want mangaka to try to make their attempt at making good black characters because they probably have not even met a black person in their life. I feel like it's foolish for us to put a high expectation on manga like it's a Western media genre. So the fact that he's able to introduce these people in his series and make them relevant and important in their own way, as well as not throwing these stereotypes onto them and making that their entire character, this is absolutely how I think we should be conquering this representation. Don't give me like your representation on Ice Cube and put it in your series. I don't need that. Give me black characters that we can at least say like, hey, he's in your series, and honestly, just make them like any other character. If it was an American show, I might have a little bit of a twist of opinion, but overall, Bleach does it how I think it should be done. But hey, this is just my take on the situation. How do you guys feel about this topic? I want to hear you guys' perspective, because again, this is just the conclusion that I came to, but I want to know what you guys think about it. Either way, thank you guys for watching the video once again. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe. Guys, these were my blank thoughts.